Hi, welcome back. In this key skill, we're going to be given some information and we're going to be asked to find the equation of a circle. In question 1, we've been told, find the equation of the circle that has center 1 minus 1 and radius 8. So we're just going to go back to the formula that we've already learned. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And we're just going to fill in the information. Now don't forget the double minus because it's minus 1, so that would be plus 1 squared equals 8 squared. Or you can say equals 64. And that's it, that's the equation of the circle. Let's have a look at question 2. Question 2 we've been given 2 points on the opposite side of the diameter. If you don't know what a diameter is, for example, if this is a circle, the diameter is a point that goes from one side on the circumference through the center back to the other side, okay? So in order to find the equation for the circle, we need 2 pieces of information. We need the center and we need the radius. Now, if you think about it, if you have 2 endpoints of the diameter, what's in the middle? Well, if you've got the 2 endpoints, in this case, you've got 4, 2 and 8, 2. So this would be one endpoint, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, up 2. And your circle would look like this. Now the first thing you need is going to be your center, which is going to be the midpoint of the 2 endpoints of the diameter. So if you know 2 points here, because of the property that the radius, it needs to be equidistant from here to here. So the center needs to be the same distance from this side as this side. The center needs to be perfectly in the middle of the 2 endpoints of the diameter. So you can simply use your midpoint formula that you've already learned in the equation of the line mini-series and find the center. Let's just recap briefly what your midpoint formula is. The midpoint is when you add the x coordinates together and divide by 2, and you add the y coordinates together and divide by 2. So our 2 coordinates are going to be 4, 2 and 8, 2. You can think about this as x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. So the midpoint would be 4 plus 8 divided by 2, and 2 plus 2 divided by 2. So it would be 12 divided by 2, and 4 divided by 2. So your midpoint would be 6, 2. And I always say, does that look about right? So if that's 4, 2, and that's 8, 2, it does make sense that this would be 6, 2. Now, in this situation, we wouldn't actually need to use the formula to find the distance because we can just see that the radius must be 2, right? Because it must be 2 to get from 4 to 6. However, if you didn't notice that, once you found the center of the circle, you would take your center and you would pick one of the 2 points. Only pick one, okay? So you would find the distance between the center which is 6, 2, and one of the points. I'm going to pick, for example, 8, 2. So we know that distance squared, well in this case we know that distance is radius, so we know that radius squared must be x1, y1, x2, y2. So 8 minus 6 squared plus 2 minus 2 squared. So 8 minus 6 is 2 squared plus 0 squared. So r squared in this instance is 2 squared, which is 4. And you just plug those 2 pieces of information back into your formula. So in this, we now know that the center here, you can think about like these as like blank spots that you need to fill in. We know that the center is 6, 2, so we can put in 6 here and 2 here. And we know that radius squared was 4. So you can put in a 4 there. And that will give you the equation of your circle. In the last question, we've been asked to give a value of k that would mean that the following equation would represent a circle. Now, what you need to think about here is, first of all, it's in the expanded form. So to get it looking more like the equation that we work with, I would do 2 instances of complete the square. So k is just a number, so it's going to move to the other side. So we'd have x squared plus 16x together and y squared minus 10y together, and all of that would equal to minus k. Okay, so our too many complete the square problems are going to be here. X plus 8 squared, because we have 16 minus 64, plus y minus 5 squared minus 25 equals to minus k. So and then we're going to move over 64 and plus 25. We're going to add together the like terms here. So that would be 89 minus k. Now we know that this here is where we need to have the radius squared. Okay, so radius squared should always be a positive value. It should be a positive value because any number squared should be positive, and we couldn't have, for example, a negative radius, right? So in this case, we know that 89 minus k needs to be bigger than 0. So that means that 89 needs to be bigger than k, or k needs to be smaller than 89. I hope that made sense. That last question is really tricky and it catches a lot of people out. Any value squared always needs to be bigger than 0. In key skill 4, we're going to be looking at how to find the points of intersections with circles. It could be intersecting circles with x-axis, y-axis, with lines. And so I hope you've enjoyed this key skill. I hope that you're following on our website. If you're not doing this on our website and inputting all your answers and keeping all your scores together on the website, then go check that out, courses.mathwithsophie.com. And I'll see you in Key Skill 4. Bye for now.